चलो ठीक है, ओके। Hi everyone. So we are here again. Welcome back everyone. I hope you had a great weekend and great day. So now we are back with another live session. Today we are live on Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube. So if you have any questions related to uh, anything related to migration education, you can throw in the chat box. So I will try to respond. So it's 8 o'clock now. So we will wait for another 5 to 10 minutes for other people to come and prepare the questions. Then we will try to respond accordingly. Try to post. Um, I've just thrown the booking link in the chat box. So if you anyone wants to book an appointment, because last time a lot of the users mentioned they were unable to contact us and they don't know how to contact you. Usually you can go on our Facebook page or our website. You can find us there. So and all the information is there, right? Or you can just Google Success Visa. It will come up as a 251 chair street parameter. Then there's an option of booking an appointment. You can go on the website from there as well, or you can directly book from there. So you have the option. Then I also added the in the chat box. So we will wait for more people to show up. We will wait for the few more minutes. So if you have any questions, just prepare your questions before you throw in the chat box so that I can respond accordingly. Visa cancellation. As I mentioned, we are live on the Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube. So if you don't have access to one of those, so you can just jump on the other platforms and ask the migration or education related questions. Just few changes has happened from the last 1 week. So we will discuss about those as well, and we will wait for your questions as well. We'll wait for another 5 minutes. I can see more and more people are coming. So let's just wait for another few minutes. I hope you can see me and listen me as well. If you guys have any issue with the hearing, or like you see that you can't see me or you can't hear me, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm assuming that you can hear me and listen. You guys will wait for another 4 minutes. So please prepare your questions or any inquiries related to education migration, and so that I can respond accordingly. And if you have any suggestions for us, do let us know. We're more than happy to accept any kind of suggestions from you regarding the live, or if we need to do some changes, or if you have any other ideas. We'll also throw the address as well. So that before you ask me any question, you can find the information by yourself. I'm just throwing the branch address in parameter. I can see more and more views are coming. Guys, please prepare your questions if you can. Otherwise, I'll start. Okay, let's start now. So before you ask, you can just throw your question in the meantime. I can speak. I'll talk, right? Regarding the upgrades or whatever I want to say, unless you want to ask a question in the middle. So there is a very big question nowadays: the chances of getting a permanent residency in civil. Now the question is changing. The permanent residency options in as a graduate diploma for early childhood or early childhood education study. Now we had a student who came on a bachelor's degree. They want to change to bachelor's of early childhood, and they asked us this question: what would be the chances after 4 years when I will complete the study? See, the answer is not simple because we don't know what's going to happen in 4 years, right? As per the current circumstances, the trend, what is going on, the demand, right? If we consider that way, then obviously there are high chances and good chances, right? As compared to other courses, nurses are those one of those options, right? If you don't want to become an or go to the health sector, then teaching is a good option. So you can choose. Again, if you are asking us to make a prediction for after 4 years, then it's going to be hard. However, overall, I would say if you have other options, then as compared to other options, it's a good option. As compared to nursing, you can choose nursing if you don't want to study this course. Otherwise, you can choose one of these. Keep first preference as nursing, then teachers. If you still want to go into the health sector but do not want to study nursing, then you can go to as a social worker, community worker. Just keep nursing as a first preference, then social work is a second preference, community worker as a third preference. Right? So just want to clear one more thing. There is no diploma in social work. Right? If there is, it won't take you anywhere. So you have to be very careful on those things. The fee structure, the timeline, the skill assessment criteria, because usually the skill assessment for the study structure or for the structure of the study for the diploma of community service or the bachelor of community service, there is 400 hours of training, right? That's a part of the curriculum or the study. So that is you have to complete, right? However, for the social worker, it's usually 800 to 1,000 hours that you have to complete during the study. And the same training hours goes with the nursing as well. Depends on, right? Now we have been contacted by someone who has studied bachelor's of BSc agriculture from India. So they're asking the chance of the permanent residency. However, you should know that how to get the skill assessment first, right? If you want to go to the general skill migration, then you should have at least 1 year of experience as a agriculture consultant. If you have that experience, then you can utilize that experience for skill assessment. Once you have a positive skill assessment, you can apply for the permanent residency. So these are the basic questions being asked. And there is one more important thing I want to share there. There were last last week we had after the last live session on the Facebook. Uh, so one more thing happened. There was one student who has contacted us, who was at the airport whose visa was cancelled at the airport because they have provided bogus documents when they initially applied for the student visa. So we saw that, and the student is saying that he don't know, or his agent or her agent has done that. So guys, just we want to let you know, if when you apply the student visa form initially, you should know. Initially, I would say every time whenever you apply any visa, you should know what are the documents are being used. You have the authority to ask the agent. You can ask, always ask, and they should give it to you as well. I don't think so. There should be anything they should hide. There is. I don't think so. There is any reason for them not to give you the documents. Right. So if you're in a dilemma, if you're in confusion, just ask the documents because it won't impact anyone. It would be the only you who will get impacted. So yeah, this is like this is not good because that student's whole life has been changed, right? They had the different dreams. They came to Australia for 1 year. They studied. After that, they went to back to their home country. So those are the things. So just be careful before making a decision or the things because these are the so many things. Now the department is getting very very strict. You have to be very careful. Be a genuine student. Focus on your study. That's the only things we can say. Nothing much. What is the chance of 189 for a telecommunication network planner and key concepts? See, Nitesh, I think you asked this question last time as well. The answer remains same as I given the last time, right? 189 invitations and the last invitations we have seen only the nurses and the health sector, or the I would say the health sector and the teachers. Not seen any telecommunication network planner, which is fingers crossed. In the next invitation round, they invite everyone. Just fingers crossed. That's what I can say. Otherwise, if they go with the same trend, then it's going to be hard. Maybe focus on 190 and 491. Then why are you going to rely on the 189? How much clear points are required for masters of IT? See, the points for the master of IT is just like depends on so many things. The subclass of the visa you're applying, the state where you're applying. All of the visas 189, 190, 491, they require you to have a minimum of 65 points, right? However, there are some states that require you to have more points. For example, Queensland. If you want to apply 190, they ask you to have at least 75 minimum points before you even apply. So if you have 65 points, you meet the requirement of Department of Home Affairs. However, you're not meeting the requirement of that state. So you have to be careful where you apply and how many points you're sitting on. You might apply with 65 points, however the state requires you to have a 75 points. And you are sitting by thinking that okay, I might get, but how are you're not even eligible for that, then how are you gonna get? So just be careful on those things as well. I had an appointment last week when a client asked me, he was from overseas. So should we go with the PR5 file by ourselves or should we choose an agent? My answer to that person was, if you know everything, just do by yourself. However, I would prefer to use a migration agent because they have more knowledge. I know it's gonna cost you money, but that could save you a lot of time because we usually deal with these cases every day. So we know the changes and all this. If you miss any change, you might lose or you might end up going nowhere but wasting your time. So those are the things I want to say. Always you try to choose a migration agent. That's what I can say. Do not assume the things because any recent change or any migration change can cost you anything. That's where you lose hope while sitting overseas. That's why you want to come to other visas because you want to be onshore. If you do the things in the right way, right, the chances are more as compared to people who do not take care of these things, who are just like just apply, the UI is just waiting. There's so many other factors matters. So if only health and teaching are getting the invitation, does not mean that they are not inviting other uh, occupations. But you should know which state you can apply or which state can be beneficial for you. So there is no simple answer how many points required for the IT. But again, you can check from the website of the states. Some states publish their last invitation round data. From there, you can at least get an idea what could be expected from the next round, right? But there is no experience required for the applying PR. If you're going through general skill migration, if you're applying through the employer sponsor, then obviously you need that 2 years part time, oh, sorry, 2 years full time experience for the 482 or equivalent part time, or 3 years full time experience for 186. Or either you can go through the, you can also go with the 494 visa as well if you have an employer located in the regional area and happy to sponsor you. So there are a lot of options. What I always say to my clients. Just don't ask a simple question. Always try to assess your file. We assess your file because there might be other things as well we have to consider rather than just answering your question that you're being asked. Because there's something that you might not know, which we can think and which we can see and can give you the options. Today we have a grant for 491 for any client who met me in a 711. So that's a beautiful story and it's a good story. So they have met us in the 711 and they started the process with us. So we did a skill assessment as an engineering technologist for an overseas degree. The degree was completed from India, right? So then we apply for 491. They got the invitation. Now today they got their visa granted, which means they were still on the student visa. So now what has happened? Their life has completely changed. They don't need to rely on the student visa anymore. They don't need to pay the fee and all these things. So now they can take next step in your life. So after staying on 49 visa for 3 years, then they will be eligible for 191. That's a permanent visa, and they will get all the benefits. So some people are very flexible with the visa options. When you're flexible with the visa option, it means you might have high chances as compared to other candidates, unless they are very, I would say, qualified or skilled workers. For example, someone might have a 10 years experience, right? So just keep those things in mind. There are a lot of news going in the market. Australia is not giving the PR, and some people are saying on onshore to students that do a certificate in child individual sport, you will get the PR. I said I spoke with the client, and he said few friends of him told him. I said why? Then he replied because Australia is giving PR. I asked where is where they are giving the PR. He said, my friends told. Because see, just keep in mind your friends don't give you a PR, right? It's just a department who gives you PR. So you have to be very careful on that thing. Don't rely on the half information. Try to get the full information that you're aware of, right? Not only certificate training and you just won't give you a PR. You need an employer. You need other. We need to meet the other requirements as well. After nomination from state one, and what are the chances of getting visa? So if your nomination is approved from the state, then why you think there are less chances of getting a visa unless you provide a bogus document or something that do not match the points? If everything is genuine, you get the nomination from the state and you get the nomination approval, you get the invitation from the department, then you should be able to get the visa as well. I'm not sure why something gonna stop you. There, there's some basic mistakes are done by the students, of offshore candidates or onshore candidates anyway. Someone contacted me today and asked me if we applied for the visa. Before the visa, we got married. Now my wife is pregnant. They have not updated the department. They're asking what's going to happen. Visa cancellation. Council. So you just be careful. When I asked why did he do that, he said he thought he can do it. That's not how it works. What do you think? What the law says, what the regulations say, what the policy says, what that says, what the law says. That's how the things work. So guys, don't assume the things that you think could be correct. Always consult with a registered migration agent who has more knowledge. So just keep these things in mind. You can avoid the mistakes. Firstly, you have to check if you meet the eligibility criteria, right? If you meet the eligibility criteria, the other eligibility criteria, and rest of things, the first mistake that you can avoid, if you mention single, try to do not get married, right? And try to stick with the points. Do not try to play with the points. What that means, because if you're single and you're getting 10 points, and if you're getting married, you might lose those points. So you're gonna risk yourself. These are the mistakes, and also you should be aware of the documents required. For example, if you're applying for a new software, it's just an example, right? For 491 visa, they have clearly mentioned the documents must be valid for 5 business days after the invitation or when you apply the file. Sorry. So if your documents are not valid, they won't consider your file. So this could be the one of the mistake that you could do. Our other states do not rely on those things. Again, state to state things vary. Some states give you an option if the visa, or sorry, if your document is expired, they might give you more time. Again, depends on state to state. These are the simple mistakes. Otherwise, there could be a whole number of points we can talk about the mistakes. But these are general one. So just make it very simple. If you're confused about anything, any single thing, don't assume. Just consult with a just migration agent. That's what we can say, because you might think that's a mistake, but it could not be, or however you might think it's right, it could be a mistake. You don't know unless you speak with an expert on that point. So just be careful on those mistakes. That's what I can say. Now, there's one thing going in the whenever we nowadays what I'm seeing, students changing a lot of courses, and one of the first priority for them is to go for a course who can get the permanent residency again, teaching and the nurses. That's what they're choosing, or the social work if they don't meet the English requirements. Now, today, yesterday, some universities has announced that they won't be taking any uh, tourist visa holders. So if you people who are on a tourist visa who want to switch to student visa based on their study, or they're avoiding to give the admission to students who are extending their student visa or who are applying a student visa after 4 and 5. So guys, be careful on these changes. You, if you're one of those and your visa is expiring soon, maybe 15th of March when the majority of visas expire. So you should have 13, 14, or 15. Do not delay anything. Just go to your agent or contact your agent tomorrow or today if they're available and do it ASAP. So just say if you don't apply uh, the visa on the time, what's going to happen? You might be unlawful, right? Which you don't want because it could impact the future prospect of the future things. The, the one of the common thing it's going to impact your travel. So just be careful on these things. What I mean travel that you won't be able to travel. You can go outside Australia, but you can't come back. So that could be the major concern for you guys. So don't not delay your file. I've seen very few students or clients are very like they don't even care what's going on. I have few clients who don't care what's going on even after following up after several times. They just take it for granted. They think their agent will do everything. The agent can't do anything if you don't provide the information they requested or the documents. They can't make the documents for you. You have to give them the documents. Why? So this is the one of the busiest time of the year we have, and now we are going through that. So guys, great. You have still have 3 days if your visa is expiring on 15th of March. Just make your plans, right? Just make your plans. If you're confused, consult with them, just a migration agent, consult with them, an expert, a lawyer, and but try to avoid the mistakes. Now, a lot of interviews going these days for many visas. For example, for the bridging visas, when you're trying to be from unlawful to lawful, when you're trying to do other things. So just be prepared even for the student visa. If you're getting applying student visa or any visa, you might be getting an interview. So just be careful on that. And also, there are a lot of refusals nowadays for the student visa extensions for the student visas. So you have to be very careful by before taking any single step, especially nowadays, as the immigration is very strict, very, very, very strict. I would say that. Okay, someone asked me, what can be done to get a permanent residency from offshore as a nurse? So when you ask this course as a nurse, firstly, I want to clear it. You could be nurse in your home country, but you have to be a registered nurse in Australia first to get a permanent residency or for the visa pathway. Like depends on which visa, right? Now, because you're getting a permanent residency or you want to apply to Australia, then you should consider the rules and regulations of Australia not as your home country because that's what they said. They're registered in nurse back in their country. I said that's completely fine, but you should be a registered nurse in Australia because you're applying to Australia. To become a registered nurse, you have to follow the pathways as I mentioned earlier as well, right? But these are the one of the good opportunities, right? If you're offshore, do not delay your file. Try to apply the permanent residency or try to find the pathways. Just be smart because your main goal is permanent residency. If you have a straight way option to get the permanent residency or to apply the or to be eligible for that before going through any other visa, then why not? You should choose those options. Be smart nowadays. You can't rely on the emotional facts that what's going to happen. That's not how it works. This is especially for those students who are from Punjab. because I'm also from Punjab. Then people are very emotional in these while making a decision. I always say be practical, be respect your emotions, but that's not how it works. You can tell me whatever you want to do on your feelings, whatever the department. You have to be practical. You have to go through the law. You can't overclose those things. But you should know how to be smart. What are the smartest pathways? What you call the smartest pathway? These are the things that you have to consider, right? So just and also for the job ready program, especially I'm just why I'm saying the job ready program. As soon as you complete a certificate 3 or 4, don't wait for the diploma or don't wait to start the certificate 3. If you complete a certificate, so don't wait for the certificate 4. If you complete a certificate 3, just apply the job ready, start a job ready process ASAP with a temporary residency pathway. Because what's going to happen if you just say you are studying a certificate 3, 4 in motor mechanic, right? Your certificate 3 is 1.5 years, certificate 4 is 6 months. After completing certificate 3, you can start the PSC. That's the first step of the job ready. Then you can apply the TR after completing certificate 4. So now the PSC result is nowadays is coming within a month or 1.5 month, right? After you can straight away apply, start the job ready employment. That's the second step. You don't need to wait for the certificate 4 to complete. By the time you will complete certificate 4, you will be in your second step. By the time you will get the TR, you might already done with the step 3, or you might be in the middle of certificate. Sorry, step 3. So step 3 is job ready workplace assessment, where the assessor is gonna come and take an interview. So keep those things in mind. Try to say these are the one of the ways to be smart in terms of saving your time for the job ready or the TR. We still try to make understand to students, but they don't want to go. It's their own choice. But I would say try to save as much time as you can, because once you tick with the TR, you have 18 months and you have 12 months to complete minimum. There might be some ways, some reasons, because of some reasons or personal reasons, you might need to go overseas for 1.5 months. Then you're going to lose that 1.5 month. Then you're going to left with only 4.5 months on the TR. And just say the main problem with the majority, some students they struggle with the majority workplaces, and when the assessor comes, they get scared and they might fail. So you might lose another time. I'm not saying you will fail, but I'm saying this is the one of the reasons where they lack, because in the rest of the steps they don't need to have a face-to-face interaction with a trainer or like the person who comes from the TRA or the assessor. So you have to consider those ways. Now the department is getting strict, as you might know that after TR you won't be eligible to apply for the student visa onshore. These rules has not been implemented yet. Just want to clear. But this once this is implemented, so these gonna be the changes. However, we will still waiting for the full confirmation regarding will the partner just say if there is a couple, then primary applicant is gonna qualify, will it impact the secondary applicant as well. So we are still waiting on those things. Once our official confirmation comes, we will try to update you on that thing, right? So just you can just follow us on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you want to know more about the upcoming updates. Now, I have recently posted the invitation rounds happen from each state in February month. Like each state, how many seats, how many invitation was sent by each state for 190 and 491. Canberra was the only state who has invited only 3 or 4 for both 190 and 491. So that was the lowest. New South Wales has invited maximum number of 190. South Australia has invited maximum number of 491. So the lesson to be learned from that is these are number they have invited. Now you have to check how many seats are left. Some students or some people they think okay they have inviting, we should go to that state, we might get. You might be right at some point, but just think in that way. If New South Wales invited, just an example, 600 seats, they have only 800. They are only left with the 200 seats and another 4 5 months left. Do you still think we have chances? So consider that way. Don't consider that the invitation round. Just consider how many seats are left. Accordingly, you have to. Or accordingly, you can make a decision. I would say. However, if you think you have no chances in any of the state, then I would say Melbourne is a great state. Try to find a job in skill level 1, 2, 3, and get a minimum salary of 70K at least. You would have the high chances because they don't have a specific checklist or the occupation list. I would say they are open to all the occupations that are eligible for the 190, 491, 189. Right? That's an example. However, if some state is the best for you, just go there. If you don't think or you think there's no option left, then Melbourne could be one of the options. For you, again, depends from the occupation to occupation. There's so many other things we have to consider. Don't just rely on the this information. I would say just try to consider other points as well. Again, you can't move before discussing. I would say the suggestion is just discuss with your migration agent or the person who is assisting you before you move to the other state. But this is my own thinking, or this is just an example for those students because we deal with a lot of students every single day. What is success? Process of what success if you're applying a de facto visa. Partner Australian have been living together for more than 1 year. Can you work while you're on a bridging visa while you're making a decision? It's hard to get the documents together. So yeah, see the success rate depends on if you have all the documents here, you meet the eligibility criteria. I don't think so. There should be any reason to refuse for your visa unless there is something that you're missing or something documents. Right now, again, we're living more than together for more than 1 year. You have to prove that. That's for the de facto relationship. If you can't prove that, then what's how someone would know that you're living in together from the last 12 months, right? So can you work on a bridging visa while they're making decision? Yes, it just depends on the previous visa hold. For example, if you're on student visa and you apply for partner visa and your bridging visa A is active, then you can work full time. You can work full time. It's hard to get the documents together. I don't know what you mean. Is it like hard to get the documents for the de facto relationship? If you can't prove the de facto relationship, then how you can say that you're in a de facto relationship? You make sure that you meet the four pillars of the relationship. Right? Four pillars are very important in the assessing a partner visa applications, and it's a time of application requirement. So just be careful on that thing as well. However, if you're living in from the last 12 months, but you can't prove, just say, for example, you can only prove for the few months, there's some alternatives for that thing. You can still apply the partner visa. But for that, we discuss, you can book an appointment or you can visit our office that's located at 251 Church Street, or you can just consult with your own migration agent or own expert person who is assisting you. But however, if you are not applied the visa and you can't prove the 12 months of de facto relationship, then there's some other alternative that can be used to proceed with the partner visa. So visas are all over the documents, guys. Some people again they say to us, okay, we are doing this thing and whenever we ask for the documents, they can't prove in the document. Then see, simple, straightforward. If you want to do something, you have to prove through the documents, and you saying that this is the situation. You can let me understand. That's fine. But how are you going to justify the department? You're not going to call them. Okay, please consider me for the visa. That's not how it works. Please consider. Keep in mind you have to prove through the documents. You can say whatever you want to say to us, right? However, you have to prove that fact. I'm dealing with a similar case. Mirinalani, this one. I'm also dealing with one of the similar cases at the moment. I want to visit Australia due to my business. Can I apply business visa? Lovely. I'm not sure what business visa you're saying. If you talk about business visa subclass 1 8, subclass 888, then they're closed for now. They're not accepting more applications. You have to wait for the new changes again. You want to visit Australia due to my business, then you can apply the tourist visa. Why not? If there is a business, if you're coming on behalf of business, I have few clients who came on a tourist visa on a business basis. There should be no issue on that. Just a reminder, we have only 20 minutes left. If you have any questions, ask me. More than happy to answer. As we mentioned, guys, if you're unable to contact us, if you have still have any question, you can join us on the TikTok as well. We go live on the TikTok on Thursday at the same time, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right? If you miss one of these lives, you can come on Thursday, or if you miss on the Thursday, then you can come on live on Tuesday, or vice versa. Right? We on the Tuesday we go live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Right? For Thursday we go on the TikTok. So we are more actually active on the TikTok because a lot of students ask us a question, a lot of people ask us the questions. We reply majority of them on the TikTok. So the best way to or the fastest way to get a response is I would say the TikTok. Guys, ask me any questions if you have any questions. From the next time, you can please you can prepare your questions in advance. Uh, if you don't have a question, then I can keep talking. Right? The things happen with us in our last week or something. I'll try to share stories that is so that you can learn from other people's stories or other students' stories. You can get the positive things out of that, or you can get negative things out of that. But try to get a positive thing so that you can learn a lesson, not to try to repeat those mistakes. The reason being to share the stories is just like that you can learn something from that, right? You can learn something from that. That's the reason we make the stories or we share the stories of the students. It's always good to uh, hear from others or hear other stories that the mistakes that you don't do. And also one more thing, when you go to overseas, try to get a leave letter from the college before you leave, and also try to update your agent, also the institute. I've seen some students they don't even care, they just go and come back. You might be lucky. If something goes wrong on the airport, what's gonna happen? You will be in trouble. 3 weeks back, one of our client contacted their friend got uh, caught by the at the airport. The department asked him, uh, "Where are you studying?" He said, "In Queensland." But your ticket says you're going to Melbourne. So how are you going to justify that thing? He was lucky enough that he got away from that situation because the luck worked for them. Try to connect the dots. Even the department called his institute as well to confirm if he's attending the institute because he was about to land in Melbourne. Just an example tomorrow, and the day was and the classes were starting day after tomorrow. Then the department asked how it's possible that you can go to Melbourne today and tomorrow you can attend the classes. You mentioned he will go by car from Melbourne to this way. The distance is very long. It's really hard, right? But that's the thing. He's lucky enough that he got away from that situation. Don't consider yourself as lucky. Just learn from the mistakes. Don't do that, guys. Don't be smart. Department is more smarter than you. They know they can track you at any point, anywhere. The funds are requested by the institutes for changing courses in Australia. I would say it's like the same 12 months of stay. If you're changing a course, obviously I would say the course would be at least of 1 year or 2 years. So 12 months stay, travel courses plus 1 year course college fees or the tuition fees. For example, uh, around the 1 year living course is around 24,000 $30. That's approximate idea. Plus travel cost is around $3,000, close $27,000 $30 plus 1 year tuition fees. The tuition fee for 1 year could be 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, depends on course to course, right? So those are the information or the funds you need if you're single. If you have a partner as well, you have to consider adding the partner uh, funds as well. The best way to uh, calculate the funds, you can go on the department's website, just search subclass 500, you will find there, and you go to step by step options in the tab. and you will see gather documents. You will see there an option of funds. Then this clearly gives you a calculation how much funds you need. You can calculate from there. If you're single, then it can also make it clear how much you need. If you're married, if you're baby, children, you can get from there, right? It's very easy, but this is basic calculation for single candidate. Consider 27,000 plus 1 year fees. Just consider it that way. There are different ways to justify the funds, how you show the funds. The funds can be combined. Some universities consider the combined funds. Some universities they don't even consider combined funds. They don't even consider grandparents' funds. So depending on which university we are going through or which course you're taking. Again, these requirements vary. Especially these are requirements are tough nowadays for the childhood courses. So if you're one of those, do it ASAP before they make the further changes that can be make it impossible or almost impossible or make it hard for you to get admission, because it would be hard or it would be impossible for you to justify those things. One example, you might have shown funds when you come from overseas to Australia, and then after getting the visa, after you landed here, you have started using that funds. You don't have those funds available anymore. So this is one of the examples that could cause any issue. So consider those things as well. However, there's some alternatives for showing the funds. So if you're stuck in that situation, you can contact us. Our team is more than happy to assist you on the way of showing funds and how to do that, because there is no one way of showing funds. There are different ways. You can either show the salary, combined salary of 72K, around 72K, or you can show the liquid funds, you can show the FDs, you can show other ways. Not every student is asking for the funds, but they have started asking. Time is not far when I would say majority will start, especially for the higher education sector. That's where the majority of students going nowadays. If you're looking for study childhood courses, the one thing to be considered or one thing to be careful about, give yourself or your agent enough time to get admission, because nowadays it's taking a lot of time to get admission. Believe me, it's taking a lot of time. So just consider how much time you have. Make sure you don't put the too much gap between the first course and the second course. You have to weigh with the student visa conditions. You might not have the intention to breach the condition, but you unintentionally you might breach the condition because you don't know the rules, or you miss because of you miss the intake, right? If you miss the intake because you were never to get the admission, then you have to be very careful in that situation. So these are small mistakes that can be done or that can be avoided. So just be careful on that thing. As if you have any questions, please ask me. More than happy to assist you. More than happy to answer any questions related to education and migration. See, de facto means that you're living together without a marriage. So if it's actual marriage, then it's not a de facto. Of course, it's a living relationship. You can say that. Yeah, that's a living relationship. Nowadays, also want to share one more update. There's some, as I mentioned, the department is getting strict. They're getting strict on the institutes as well, right? So what happens when an institute is closed? So when an institute is closed, you are protected by an and a body. That's called a tuition fees protected test. I think test for something new. So they protect you and they try to transfer you from the one institute that is being closed or gonna close soon to another institute, right? Some students might get impacted with that, some might not because they might get the credits and all these things. So you still have the options because this is one of the main points student asked what could happen or what happens when this situation arises, right? So these are some things could happen because no one wants to shut down their institute, but sometimes things are out of control or things are not in the hand. However, if that happens, then this could be the one of the solutions that you can go through. Now you might be aware that ICS is making changes, I think, from 1st of April regarding the skill assessment that they you will be able to do the three skill assessments or choose three occupations in one go. However, they increase their price, I think, around 1400 from 550, which is huge change. However, but this will, I would say again, if you used to do three skill assessment differently, then you used to pay 550 every time. It would be 1650. Now you're only paying 1400. So you overall you're saving money. Also, you're saving a lot of time. Before that, for each skill assessment, it might take 2 to 3 months each. Means at least 4 to 5 months for three. Nowadays, they say they're gonna give the assessment within 15 days. Maybe just consider 1 month. I was still saving the time. Some students were concerned that they have increased the fees and then what's going to happen, all these things. So I would say overall it's beneficial for you. You're going to save the time and you're going to save the money. Think in that way because still currently if you apply the skill assessment in different occupation, you pay uh, more money, right? Or even though just remove the money part, the time period. The time period takes is a lot of time, right? So now it would be huge change because of these things. Many students got impacted who missed their invitation rounds or who missed nominations or anything, right? But this is a very good news for those students. As I would say, it's a great news. And whenever the student asks, okay, should I go for more than one skill assessment? I would say yes. If you are eligible for more than one, then go for more than one, which means you're opening more pathways to get the permanent residency for yourself, right? And there might be competition. If you might have two skill assessment, you might ask which one is good or which one has the high chances. There might be one have the high chances, one have the less chances. But it does not mean that you should only go with the high. I would say go with the both. If you have two pathways, choose both the pathways. Right? If your main goal is to get the reach the permanent residency, or you both are assisting you to reach one point, one might get delayed or one might take some time. That's fine, but at least choose both if you have both options. A lot of options nowadays. I'm dealing with a lot of offshore applications for permanent residency, which I never dealt. The good point is people are learning or people are trying to be moving towards a permanent residency pathway, which they were not because the student visa is getting sick. That's one of the reasons. And people know that student visa is getting tough nowadays for Australia. So that's why they jump to permanent pathways. So they try to find the other alternatives. When they're not left with anything, they try to find with the permanent pathways. Or the second reason people are getting smart. Social media has changed a lot of things, has given a lot of information, which is good for, I would say it's great. You can get so many inquiries answered online, right? The main problem, the offshore, once they have a positive skill assessment, they stuck up with the permanent residency pathway. They don't want to proceed or they want to keep it on hold. My question is, if you want to go to permanent residency, then why even you start the skill assessment? Now you have a positive skill assessment, you don't want to proceed because you think it's going to cost you money. Obviously, you know from the very first day. So what are you going to do with just the skill assessment? This is not right. Either proceed or either not proceed. Otherwise, with the skill assessment, you're just giving the money to the agent or you're giving the money to the assessment body. Nothing else. So don't do those mistakes because this is from basically from my state. That's happening from big states like Delhi and all these things, Bombay. They prefer to get a permanent residency from people from south who has a great experience or who has a great qualifications, who have a good background. They know that they're eligible, they can go through that pathway. So if you're not sure that you have a permanent pathway or not, then at least you can consult with someone. I know it, some people charge for the consultation, some charge, some do not charge. It's as per your convenience. You can go to anyone, a digital migration agent or an expert, right, who can assist you with that thing. At least you should discuss if you're looking for Australia as an option to come, you should discuss with someone. I've been shared a lot of visas by different people. Oh, this guy got this visa. How? Which is with this visa? Especially with the training visa, there was a hype 6 months back in India. One agent was mentioning you don't need anything. You will find your sponsor. You just need 4.5. You will get the visa. See, guys, there is no guarantee for the visa. I'm saying it to you now. There is no guarantee. Be practical. They can find you. They can help you. They can assist you to find an employer. That's fine. But however, if someone is taking guarantee for the visa, don't do that. 408 visa, 482 visa. If you don't meet the requirements, how are you gonna get that visa? People often say, okay, that the agent is saying that we can get this visa from offshore, and the agent is offshore, right? I don't know how they do it, how they don't do it, but I would say if you don't meet the requirements, the answer is no from my side. Guys, we have only 4 minutes left. Um, so just to let you know, just to revise, I have already added comments on the top regarding our address and the appointment link if you want to book an appointment or you want to visit our office, right? So you can check that information or you can contact us by contacting on the Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, or by the email. You can Google our name. Successfully, you will find address 251 Church Street, Panama. You can contact us through there. You can book an appointment there. You can go through the website. There are so many options to contact us. And lastly, if you have any suggestion, any feedback for us, we are more than happy to consider that. Or you think we should can do these things in the live, or any suggestions for the live, we are more than happy to accept your feedback. You can send us a private message or you can DM us if you don't want to share in public. So we try to accept, and we, because here we are here only for you. We just here not to get the views, but just to help those students who are unable to contact us or who are unable to pay our migration fee. So this is one of the best way for you to ask the question in the live. We are live at the moment on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm repeating again. On Tuesdays we go live on Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, that's called Sydney time. However, on Thursday we're going live on TikTok 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you miss any of those lives, you can jump into another live, and there are so many options to contact us or to ask the information. You ask through your questions. We don't charge asking this question. However, if you want to consult with us, we have a consultation fee. So just keep in mind. So we have only 2 minutes left. If you have any questions, please throw in the chat box. Otherwise, I consider that you don't have any questions for me. For the next time, I'll try to bring more stories. Right. Before go, I just group one more story in my mind. There was a student who was breaching the visa condition because of some reason, but he was honest with the immigration. He updated the immigration that this is going on and all these things. When his visa got cancelled, he went to the AAT. Then they considered these facts of the student that he was honest and these were the things happening and all these things. At last, they have given him the visa. So my thing, don't try to be smart. Just be honest with them. wherever you can, right? There's some circumstances or some situations that are not in your control, that are out of your control, right? But this is just an example. There were so many other many other factors that were involved, not just this honesty thing. But this is just an example, right? If you're in a similar situation, or if you need any kind of assistance with the migration and all this thing, don't forget you can contact Success Visa, right? And also, lastly, we are available on the appointment 7 days a week. Saturday, Sunday also we are available on the appoint for the appointments on the telephone appointments, on the phone appointments. Monday to Friday you can visit the office, but nowadays because of the demand, we try uh, to be available for 7 days a week. Saturday, Sunday on the weekend. Phone appointments only. Monday to Friday you can visit face to face, phone, online, whatever you want. Right. I hope I cleared. I given the answer to your questions, guys. Now it's 9 o'clock, so it's time to go. Have a good night. Until I see you next time. Thank you.